Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. And today, our topic is what games do you hope we see from Nintendo this year? What do you hope we see? You can let me know in the comments if you're watching this after the fact. You can tweet at me if you're listening to this after the fact. And for those of you that are hanging out live, let me know what games you're hoping to see from Nintendo. And it doesn't have to just be games. It might be DLC as well. So, I want to say it's Gray. What's going on over on TikTok? Servants over there. Servants also on Twitch. Nate over on Twitch. Joe over on Twitch. Becca on Twitch. What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. So good to see you guys. So, before we jump into this, I want to let you guys know that on Apple and on Spotify, you guys can subscribe to the audio podcast, and you will get no ads. And guys, there's a new exclusive show coming out where Captain N64 Josh is going to be making an appearance. So if you guys are familiar with Captain N, the Game Master, we're going to keep some of that storyline going. So I think it'll be a good time. So let's talk about what do we want to see from Nintendo this year. They tweeted out today. Nintendo tweeted out that they're doing like kind of like the Nintendo Live thing at PAX, but it's like Nintendo on the road or something like that. And there's a number of locations. And if you look at the tweet, which I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Let's get this tweet pulled up because I wanna take a look at it and just kind of. I think it's gonna kind of drive our conversation just a bit because I'm curious what you guys think about what the games they're going to be continuing to promote, and does that mean anything for the future? Like, are there games? Are there older games that Nintendo might start showing some love to again? And so we'll take a look at the tweet here, and it's called Summer of Play. All right, let me share my screen so we can just take a quick look. Here we go. Now, Summer of Play from Nintendo. Now, if you look at the just the graphic that they show here, you've got Pikmin over in the corner. You've got Smash Bros kind of in the middle here. You've got Animal Crossing. You've got Mario Kart with Mario Party on the backside. You've got Kirby. You've got Super Mario 3D World, and then you've got Donkey Kong. You've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. So, what is going on here? What is going on here? Nintendo's just kind of dipping into the library of the Switch and being like, here. Walmart of Canada, there's my boy Riley. He's like, zooms in on every display for clues. Exactly. So Servant right off the bat says Switch needs a Final Fantasy Pocket Edition. Okay. So Nate can play it. There we go. Here we go from DNK Gaming 43. It says, I'm almost caught up on all these podcasts. I'm glad I can be here live and appreciate all your insight in games, but also stuff you touched on personally. You're doing great and are very much appreciated. Yo, DNK Gaming. So glad you're here and able to hang with us live. I really appreciate you. I really, really do. And Nate has to throw out, are they going to have any PVC pipes that will make the trip? Thanks, Nate. Mario Kart 10 confirmed. All right. Mario Kart 10 confirmed. What? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Don't make me sad. Don't make me sad yet. All right. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. Why we gotta talk about that stuff? Like, there we go. Now we can see the Summer of Play a little bit better. So, I mean, Mario Kart's a no-brainer. DLC's coming out, right? They're continuing to push that. Oh, I want to point out on the backside of Animal Crossing is Pokemon. That's a Pikachu right there, you guys. That's Pikachu right there. So I don't know if you guys have played, if you've gone to any of the events where Nintendo sets up like in the malls and stuff, and played on the giant switches. It's kind of fun. I was able to uh, uh, do that last year, and it was pretty cool. It looks like there's. I can't really zoom in any further on the on this photo because we're looking at it via Twitter. But I'm curious. Like, it looks like there might be some Pokeballs. Like maybe there's some some kind of mini games or something. I'm also looking the backside of Mario 3D World. Looks like it's just the display. Like there's nothing. I don't think they're showcasing anything other than that. The backside of Donkey Kong though is Yoshi. So I mean, a few games that are missing here. You got Luigi's Mansion not being shown, Odyssey not being shown, Arms not being shown. But they're digging into their library, that's for sure. So let's see. Wesleybo says, welcome from or hello from Belgium. We're glad you're here. Nate says Kirby Forgotten Lands getting some DLC. Retro Video Gamer says over on YouTube, I want GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remastered, new Mario game. So there's definitely some Mario being desired from Retro Video Gamer. I love it. Let's do a quick poll in the chat, you guys. Do you think that we get a Nintendo the GameCube Nintendo Switch Online, or do you think they just keep remastering games? The success of Metroid Prime, right? Mario Sunshine, the the potential ports of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Do we see them? Do we see them bringing GameCube games? I mean, I think we would all have a great time getting to revisit Animal Crossing on the GameCube, the very first one. That would be fantastic. Melee would be fantastic. Double Dash, I would love it. I think it would be great. Servant says no. I honestly want GameCube remasters. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And Twilight HD remaster. Okay. All right. Retro Video Gamer says new Donkey Kong game. Nintendo has a lot to offer, but not sure if they will. Servant says, Nate, if you read the back of the box of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it says 105278B. So Mario Kart 9 for 51027 confirmed. You guys are the worst. Okay. You guys are the worst. Retro Video Gamer says remastering games. I'm a physical game collector, so I want it more. But shoot, on Nintendo Switch Online wouldn't hurt my feelings. Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, well, we have Link's Awakening remastered, completely redone, which I mean, those are games that I absolutely love seeing redone. I love that. So Nate says I want new enough with remasters this year. Fair. Joe says if you could play Mario Party on the GameCube, I'll pay for the expansion pack. I love it. That is great. See if we got some people over on TikTok. I see Freddie. What's going on? Welcome on in. From Weslebo says Donkey Kong Odyssey. I'm here for it. James wants a new Earthbound would be great. It's only been what, 28 years? I saw a really cool photo yesterday of Earthbound that somebody kind of it wasn't I don't think it was actually a photo. I think it was more like a GIF, like it had a little bit of animation, and it said Earthbound finally making its way to the Switch, and it looked really cool. Like it was really cool. And I was like, man, if we could kind of if they could capture that vision with a new Earthbound, I'd be here for it. It was kind of 3D pixel arty, like similar to like well, I mean, this just got me thinking now. What if we saw an Earthbound in the style of Triangle Strategy or Octopath Traveler? Like, would that not be just fantastic? I think that could be great. For the thumbnail of this video, I put Odyssey, as in I'd love to see Odyssey 2 or Galaxy 3 is another one that's been thrown around. We've talked about some of those at length, and I think those are would both be fantastic choices. Whether or not we see that, it's hard to say. Are they saving Mario for the launch of this, possibly this uh new system that's potentially coming out, or is it just a Switch Pro? Do they wait to launch some games with it that if it is a Pro that are optimized for this new system? And so they're keeping things a little closer to the chest right now so that when the new system drops, they almost treat it like a new system launch, but it's still in the Switch family. Therefore, it still counts as the overall Switch line. No different than a PlayStation 4 or a PS Slim. You have the Switch Lite, the OLED, the OG, and then the Pro. I think it's very possible. And then some of these games that are optimized for that new system launch, and they almost do like a like a system relaunch within the life cycle of the Switch, but they do it very similar to 2017, where they have a slew of games that are ready to go right out of the gate. And these games wouldn't be exclusive to the new Switch; they would just be optimized for it. So I think that could be good. Um, Retro Video Gamer says Odyssey and Galaxy 3 would be dope. Yes, absolutely. Servant says I want more Triangle Strategy DLC. They dropped some yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not, but oh, I see you just said the Triangle Strategy chapter from yesterday is fun. So there you go. So you want some more? Looking at chat here. Nate says, I think every gen being sold the stuff kind of gets a little old. More ideas, please, or just make continuations and sequels. I get it. The argument I could say against it would be that games like Metroid Prime that are, coming up on like 20 years old. Hey, I see some roses on TikTok. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But games that are that old where we can see the collection, I'm okay with. Could they do Nintendo Switch Online to allow us to have all those games? Yes, absolutely. That would be an option as well. So that, one of the things I really enjoyed about some of the past Nintendo consoles was like the 3DS was like a Zelda machine. Like you could get a lot of the Zeldas on there between the Wii U and the 3DS. You could pretty much play every Zelda game. The Wii U was definitely a Zelda machine. And I love that. It was a Mario Kart machine. It was, and the Switch is slowly getting there with Nintendo Switch Online. But it it's still lacking just a few. And I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these games just collect digital dust in our libraries, but it's just nice knowing they're there. If I want to fire up my Switch and play some retro games, I'm glad I have that option. And I was even talking with somebody yesterday who's trying to kind of get back into gaming a little bit. And the Switch is such a perfect springboard, especially with Nintendo Switch Online, because they can play some of the classic games they grew up with while then getting to experience some of these new ones as well. And it's great. So James 8107 says mine too. Every time I buy a Nintendo console, I hope that the new Earthbound is announced. Going back to talking about Earthbound. Servant says we need Street Pass back. I would love that, guys, especially with like PAX coming up and some of these other events. Being able to Street Pass with people and like kind of gamify just being near other gamers. It was fun. Like that kind of stuff's enjoyable. Okay, now I started talking about the thumbnail and we got a little bit sidetracked. But James says, "How about a new Excite Bike? I think that might be cool." Well, let's talk about that. Is it possible in 2023 for Nintendo to release a game like Excite Bike? Okay. Now, we know that like Excitebike 64 took the game into more of a racing game, but during that time period, extreme sports games were all the rage. Like you could literally make just a dirt bike game and that was fine. But in 2023, I don't know that you can. I feel like the way they bring Excitebike, Wave Race, and 1080 is they make a Mario Extreme Sports bundle. Okay? And they feature characters from each of those games as well as characters from the Nintendo universe. Mario, Bowser, you know, it would kind of be similar to Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, because you could have snowboarding, you could have the jet skis. I don't know how we get on jet skis like every episode, it seems like. But you could also, have just the dirt bike racing. I know it'd kind of be similar to Mario Kart, but if they did a track maker and took some of the ideas from the OG Excite bikes, you know, I think there could be something there. And I think they could brand it in such a way that it's like, Mario's Extreme Sport bundle, featuring, Excite Bike 1080 and Wave Race. I think that might be a way that they could end up doing it, to where we could experience some of those old games, right? Or experience sequels to some of those old games. Nate says, I think that's what they did. I think that's what they said the difficulty with an F-Zero is. Um, just that there's maybe not the market for it. It's just like, what is this, just futuristic racing? Right? But I mean, Mario Kart proves that racing can be fun because it has Nintendo characters, and the gameplay is great. So I think, and maybe we can try to solve this as part of the show. Like if they're coming out and saying we don't think F-Zero would sell, well, what should they do to make it sell? Right? Like what kind of a progression system does it need? What kind of gameplay loops does it need? If you guys heard that a new F-Zero was coming out, what would it take for you to buy it other than just the name F-Zero? What else would it need? What kind of battle mode? What kind of, like, what if it was team-based racing? What if you had to choose your team similar to like Pokemon Go? And it's like once you choose that team, every race is trying to, gain supremacy for your team. Servant says nobody cares about the characters of F-Zero. Uh it needs Nintendo characters. But again, what if F-Zero what if F-Zero took more of a cyberpunk or a Grand Theft Auto route, and you had to play, some kind of a game, doing missions and being on foot, and it wasn't just racing, but you really got to know the characters uh within within F-Zero. Would people care more about it then? I don't know. I don't know. Um, let's see, what does it say? My 64 says, what if they make Punch Out wrestling game? That is quite interesting. Like, well, and whether it be wrestling, or what about like Punch Out being UFC, right? Where now UFC is probably a more popular sport than boxing. So what if Little Mac was into MMA? And I have Little Mac on the thumbnail because I I would love to see that game make a return. Now, do they make it just strictly a puzzle game like it was back in the day? Um, Nate says is wait, is play a Punch Out RPG in a second. I, I love Nate and his typos. That one I can't figure out. He's gonna have to. Oh, there we go. I'd play a Punch Out RPG in a second. Yeah, and like, what if, what if it's all dark and like, is like a true Rocky story, like Mac coming out, fighting his way out of the gutters, training with Doc. You got to cut me, Mick. You know, Becca's having a good time here, but yeah, I mean, they're in a place. Nintendo is in a place where they're so healthy, and they could literally do so many things, do what they want with these uh with these franchises that I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I want to see I want to see them like give us some of these older titles. But again, why are we hearing anything? Why are we seeing Summer of Play promoting all their past? There's not a Pikmin 4 is the only new title. Is it not the only title from this year on display? Kirby Dream Land Deluxe is also. So 2 games. One's a remake, and one is, I would say, kind of niche. Servant says Nate needs Mario Teaches Typing remastered for the Switch. And Nate says, do not type and drive, kids. That is true. Wes on Twitch says maybe Nintendo means summer of play. We don't release games and you play outside. That could be. Yeah, Nate not reading that one on the air there. Thank you for that. He informed me, do not read that. Let me go full Anchorman as I tend to do. But yeah, there's so many directions they could go for this holiday. And really, like, if you guys had to pick one game from Nintendo this holiday, one game, what would you hope it would be? For me, I want Mario. And I actually don't even know if I want 3D Mario as much as I potentially want a 2D Mario. I think I'm ready to see the Sonic Superstars has me wanting Nintendo to truly do a fresh 2D Mario. And yeah, even Servant says, one game, first party, I want a new 2D Mario in the Mario movie art style. And I'm fine with that. Personally, I love the aesthetic of this new Sonic game that's coming out. And I want to know, I want to see a Nintendo game do something similar. The new Super Mario Brothers on Wii, which we have the deluxe version on Switch, it's fine. But there's only one world in that game that I would say is really like kind of worthy of the Nintendo charm, if you will. And it's the levels that kind of look like a Picasso painting. I want to see them get real creative. There was an element of those games looking a little bit plasticky and kind of a little bland. And Sonic looks alive. Sonic, the worlds look alive, the characters look alive, and I want to see Mario get the same treatment. Looking at the chat, Retro Video Gamer says, I want new Mario 2D or 3D, doesn't matter. I want a brand new game. Perfect. James says Mario games are always fantastic. I'm with you. I like what Nate says here. 2D with 3D sections would be cool. The reverse of Odyssey. Kind of the reverse of Odyssey, which was 3D with 2D sections. Service says I need to get back and finish new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever finished the Luigi DLC for that game, but I have finished the Deluxe on Wii U. Nate says kind of how Sonic does it. Exactly. Servant says we could use a Mario Sonic 2D crossover. That could be kind of cool. Both characters and levels inspired by both. Can you imagine like the levels where Mario has to run a like a loop and Sonic's just kind of laughing at him, and then where Mario can touch a fire flower and Sonic's like it's useless to him. It could be interesting having to like a buddy cop movie. Nate says a Mario and Sonic game would be awesome. I think it would be great. Yeah. My64 says a Wario World sequel where Waluigi is the second player. Yes. Servant says cat suit Sonic. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. Nate says whenever Mario needs to go somewhere fast, Sonic just Honeymoon carries him through the level. That would be amazing. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I see Wyatt over on TikTok. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, there's you know, we haven't even like touched on DLC yet, right? And we've talked about it in past episodes, but like, does Summer of Play potentially point to some DLC? You got the Pokemon game there, it's getting DLC. You've got Mario Kart there, it's got DLC. You know what's not there, you guys? Why isn't Tears of the Kingdom on display? Why? And maybe it is. It is. Look closely. Look closely, you guys. It's behind Smash. So Tears is there. It's behind Smash. Okay. That I was like, how do they not promote the game that like just came out? Nate says at this rate, Sonic has a better chance of being in Halo with all the Sega stuff at their showcase. That's true. That is true. So, and actually, I'm looking at this a little closer. Splatoon 3 and Smash are just like little displays. So interesting. Splatoon's getting DLC. Tears of the Kingdom, we can assume. Pokemon is. Mario Kart is. How would you guys feel if there wasn't any new games for this winter from Nintendo as they prep for the launch of the Switch Pro, and all we saw was DLC from all the games we see from Summer of Play? How would you guys feel about that? Joseph wouldn't be surprised if they had forgot about Tears of the Kingdom in that. That'd be wild. Their brand new game that's breaking records and they don't even have it on display. But what would you guys think if each of the games here, some of them are already getting DLC. Servant says he's good with it if we get new hardware on March 9th. So there we go. But I mean, that would mean Mario Party DLC. That would mean Animal Crossing DLC. That would mean Mario 3D World DLC, which would potentially mean Bowser's Fury DLC, which I'm here for. Yoshi and Donkey Kong DLC. Kirby DLC. Seems a little far-fetched. Pikmin DLC, that I could see. Parky says, what about the open world Donkey Kong game that we heard a rumor about? It could be a real thing. It could be real. We could see it. We could see it very soon. So many things Nintendo could do. But what are they going to do? When do we see a direct? When do we see some announcements? I mean, to me, there's a very real possibility in order to prepare for the Switch Pro, if you will, that on top of waiting to release games that are optimized for it, they could potentially do a sale or a price drop on a handful of the games we see here, while at the same time announcing DLC for them. Do deluxe versions of these games for the holidays that come complete with all their DLC. There's a few different options we can see from Nintendo this holiday that don't include brand new games. But they're going to have to really market that, you know. Servant says, direct on 06/28, showcase in October and hardware in March. Calling your shot. I love it. Nate says, Nintendo holds a direct and just says, sorry to inform you, but we are all movies now with that easy money. Wes says, we only have a reason to complain when all our games are 100% finished. And I don't think anybody's complaining. I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily complaining. I have a ton of games that aren't even opened, right? It's just there's I love talking about this stuff. So the more that there's announced, the more we have to talk about and be hyped about, and it's just a good time. Oh, here we go. Servant's asking Nate, what if the next direct was just all about PVC pipes and the SNES the SNES World updates? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you guys are out of control. So, well, there you go, guys. That is going to do it for this NPC live. I appreciate you guys so much being here live with me. These are a ton of fun. If I think tomorrow's episode is going to be all about my top 10 games of all time from different genres. Okay, so you guys have to help me as we look at, like, what 2D game would I pick, and what FPS game would I pick, and what racing game and fighting game, and would Nintendo hold the crown on all of those? Are these only Nintendo games? Are we only talking Nintendo games, or all of my games? Could be two separate episodes, because I guarantee you Halo will be in the mix. But if it's just Nintendo, maybe it is Splatoon, or maybe can I say Perfect Dark? I don't know. You guys are going to have to help me. So thank you so much for being here live. Tomorrow will be 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. And this was fun, guys. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.